Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 2619.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I mean 2619, 2619. Hi, I am Mike. It's a show where we talk about things that I may or may not like. It just depends. We'll see what we get to, my friend. This is a great song that ends right around here. It depends. So here we are on the show that's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And it's not a show that gets pulled from some stupid Zoom interview. No, this is me doing stuff
Mike's
to entertain your ears.
Daily
No matter what you're doing.
Podcast.
With your hands and your eyeballs.
Yeah!
Your hands, your eyeballs. Maybe you don't have hands or eyeballs. Maybe you're just doing things with whatever you got. Whatever you got, that's awesome. I applaud you. That was me applauding you. Was that not... Were you not entertained? Okay. Well, I have a friend named Masa, and I see him sometimes on Saturdays or Sundays. It depends. And he had a nice little rant that went on and on where we were talking about how we don't miss the writers that are striking right now because so much stuff is just rehashed. Rehash. You take some hash and then you rehash it. That's all there is to watch that comes out new, quote unquote new. It's old. So we were just commiserating about that and about how the writer's strike is probably a good thing. Shake it all up. Shake some people up. Maybe throw some stuff around in a nice way. Reassemble the puzzle pieces and get us some good... You know, it's a strawberry moon. Yes. June's full moon. Mike suddenly changed topics. What was that? That was like very just abrasive. I don't know what to say. But yes, we're at Cafe Anyway somewhere.
And here's today's podcast picture.
In Podcastro Valley, 10 the podcast pictures of my two wonderful cats. One adopted me, just came out of the blue and adopted me. Probably had been watching the late, great Basil the Boxer for years. And when Basil unfortunately passed away about 3 years ago, this cat came in. He was, well, he didn't necessarily, he was as skittish as all. Yes, he was a skittish cat. Maybe because of this guy. He'd probably barked at him once or twice, maybe scared him out of the backyard. But Patches came back into the backyard and into my life and into my heart. And he is in this picture along with Rocky, who is our house cat. Patches is still the feral cat that's gone outside, but we've tagged him, we've ID'd him, and we feed him. And he still comes back and sometimes spends the night with us. Of course, we put flea treatment on him just to be on the safe side. But Rocky is our indoor cat. He's our house cat that we let outside occasionally with a harness and a leash. And he's cool with that. And Patches kind of looks at him like, oh, freedom. But yes, there's a picture of it at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Go to that picture and you can see that. Do something with your eyeballs if you have them. Hey, but if you do have eyeballs, you may want to go check out the strawberry moon. Will it be pink? What is June's full moon? This according to AL.com, AL standing for Alabama. And by the way, this website existed when I lived in Alabama. I would use it frequently. And kudos to them. They recently got their first Pulitzer Prize. I say first because, yes, they'll probably get others. But good job, AL.com. June's full moon, dubbed the strawberry moon, will light up the summer sky this weekend. But don't expect a big, giant pink orb. It will rise today. This is Saturday, by the way, June 3rd.
Mike, it's...
when I'm recording this.
Mikey Fikey. Great.
According to the Farmer's Almanac, the moon will reach peak illumination at just about midnight if you're on the East Coast in Alabama. But if you're here on the West Coast, just about 10 o'clock. Just about 9 o'clock. Yes, Californians, we can't subtract 3 hours, even though we have to all the time, because everything is East Coast based. Gosh, the snobbery. June's full moon doesn't take its name from a color, but rather the time of year it appears. The strawberry moon name has been used by Native American Algonquin tribes in the northeastern U.S., as was the Ojibwe in Dakota and Lakota people as well, to mark the season of the year that June-bearing strawberries, that's right, it's the time of the year that the June-bearing strawberries are ready to be gathered. Other cultures refer to June's full moons by a variety of names, indicative of the time of year they appear. The Anishinaabe people refer to the June moon as the blooming moon, while Cherokee call it the green corn moon, and the Western Abenaki call it the hoer moon, a reference to tending young crops. Other moon names include the birth moon. It's also called the egg-laying moon. Remember that Doctor Who when it turned out the moon was an egg? The honeymoon. Honeymoon. And there's a lot of honeymoons happening now because of all the weddings and all the people that didn't get married because of COVID. At least that was the excuse they used. And then they had to, okay, yeah, I know I promised I was going to marry you. Let's get married. And that happened. And now honeymoons. And you know what else happens with a honeymoon? Well, we won't go into that. But yes, sometimes because honey, you make mead out of honey. The drink out of honey, which I have never had, actually. I need to try that sometime. So they call it the mead moon and the hatching moon. That's right. So if you miss this moon, there's going to be another one in a month called the full buck moon. And then in 2 months, in August, yes, it's going to be August in 2 months. I know that scares me too. It's the full sturgeon moon. At the end of August, it's the full blue moon. At the end of September, it's the full harvest moon. At the end of October, the full hunter's moon. At the end of November, the full beaver moon. And then at the end of December, the cold moon. They call it the full cold moon. Thank you, AL.com, for all that information as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And if you are listening on Saturday, which you're probably not, so this is future you, probably. Hello, future you. I like that antenna on your head. It's interesting the human race all sprouted antennae in the future. But it is today National Black Bear Day, okay? We have a restaurant chain in California called Black Bear Diner. And I don't think I have ever eaten at one, sadly. I've eaten food from one, but there's one not too far away from me here. I should go sometime. It's also World Bicycle Day for all you people who can endure that torture. Yes, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the, what do you call it? The uniform you must wear to ride a bike. Please don't wear that around me, please. And then I share the road with a bike. You have to do that in the Bay Area. We're very bike friendly here in the Bay Area. But I give them wide berth for a number of reasons. Bicyclists can be quite aggressive. I know they have to be in today's world, but still, I just don't like to be too close to them. It's just the way they are. And I understand. It's not easy. Oh, and speaking of eggs hatching, it is National Egg Day. And this is something I like more, trails. I like walking trails. I love going on trails. I've had many a wonderful trail excursion with my late great Basil the Boxer. So it's National Trails Day today. And happy trails to you. until we meet again. Wait, I'm not ending the podcast yet. Nope, not quite. Because there's a couple other interesting things I wanted to tell you. One of them being that Amazon has to pay over $30 million for privacy violations. Yes, Amazon. My lovely lady friend was telling me, and she has Amazon Prime, that they're going to start a cell phone service called Amazon Prime Wireless, apparently. But Amazon's employees, contractors, access footage from Ring doorbell cameras, and Alexa, yes, I may have activated your Alexa when I said that, allegedly improperly retained information from children, this leading to privacy violations. P. Diddy, is he still going by that? Diddy says booze brands didn't get enough love. Ryan Reynolds' Aviation Gin and George Clooney's Casamigos Tequila. Diddy alleges his race was a factor in the fact that his booze brand didn't do well. Apple developers have generated $1.1 trillion in total billings and sales in the App Store ecosystem last year. Yes, $1 trillion. More than 90% of billings and sales accrued solely to developers without any commission paid to Apple. Interesting. And Krispy Kreme, no commission paid to Apple? That's not what I have been told. I don't know why. This came from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, Rob Black and Your Money. He gives some very helpful money, financial news information. Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts, they celebrated National Donut Day yesterday with a free donut. I try and stay away from those for numerous reasons. One of them being my doctor got on me and said, I'm putting you on Lepidor or Crestor if you don't change your ways. Eat better. I'm trying.
It's a nightmare of a show.
Oh, that was a good song by Trace Adkins in the country world. Yes, I used to be a country DJ. I will have evidence of that in just a little bit on the segment Let's Go Back with Matthews. And finally, Target isn't the only retailer facing anti-pride backlash.
This is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
What?
MTV News. You hear it first.
Companies have been already getting backlash from anti-LGBTQ groups. Brands that typically roll out campaigns for Pride Month in June are navigating a new climate this year of more vocal critics empowered by right-wing celebrities and politicians. Target, for example, last week the retailer moved Pride displays to the back of some stores and pulled items created for its Pride collection, citing violent threats to its store employees. The store, The North Face, after the outdoor brand announced its Pride campaign with drag queen Patagonia and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene encouraged her supporters to boycott the brand because of their campaign with Patagonia. Bud Light, Kohl's, Los Angeles Dodgers all have recently drawn anti-LGBTQ ire. Calls to boycott companies usually fade pretty quickly. But Bud Light has seen 6 straight weeks of declining sales. Its controversial partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney may have caused this. At any rate, that's what it looks like the cause is, and brands are getting nervous. But the beer's 26% drop in sales for the week ending May 20th its worst week ever could be attributed to the brand also angering the LGBTQ community and its allies with how it responded to the pushback. Even so, most companies are still planning to move forward with Pride plans. Coors Light is the main sponsor for Denver's Pride Parade, and Levi's and Adidas will also run ads prominently feature gay and trans models wearing and talking about their products. What about Facebook? Well, Facebook Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg teased his company's latest virtual reality headset. It's called the Quest 3. And Apple, supposedly on Monday, is going to be announcing Reality One and some other big things that Apple's doing. They got their some kind of press conference thing happening. I think it's on Monday. So the new Facebook headset will start at $4.99. Yes, I can't stop calling it just Facebook. I hate Meta. I hate the logo. I hate everything about it. Just the whole, I mean, Meta used to be a cool word. It was something, oh, he's being meta. He's breaking down the fourth wall. He's talking about what he's talking about. And that's odd. Now it's just Mark Zuckerberg. It's just all about Mark Zuckerberg and his awful commercial he did for the headset a couple years back. So it's going to cost $500. It'll be the first announced headset with high-res color mixed reality. I am so sorry, but you look like an idiot with that on. I don't care who comes out with what headset ever. Headset on your head makes you look like an idiot. That's just how it goes. That's how it is. If you want to look like an idiot, that's fine. You be an idiot. But it's a headset idiot is what you want to be. Go for it. That's your world that you can live in, your virtual world, which isn't really the world, so you know. It's the same as if you were to sit there and read a book, which probably would do your brain far more good. What the heck? It's everything we've been expecting, and now it's happening. And it's like, we're still that stupid. We're still going to walk through that door and out off the ledge into oblivion. Well, have fun with it. Let me know how it goes. It appears to have at least 3 cameras on the front that may improve some of the pass-through experiences. I don't know what that means. I don't care. The Quest 3 will ship with the next generation of Qualcomm chipset. Now, NVIDIA chips did really, really well, as you probably heard. They had a tremendous... Their stock just flew through the roof recently. They hit like their earnings of $1 trillion or some crazy thing. And so, Qualcomm... We'll see how they do. And all the financial news experts are saying, well, you know, because NVIDIA kept talking about how they're involved with AI and making chips for AI, that's what made their stock so valuable. That's why they did so well. So now all these other tech industry and anybody who's in industry anywhere producing anything is going to mention AI. I guess I just mentioned AI, but I will stop. Meta's Quest 2 headset was released in the fall of 2020. Its original price was $300. Apple's expected to debut its competing VR headset next week as part of the company's June WWDC event. By the way, please, if you ever find yourself being an announcer for some big event, or you're on the radio, or you're on video, which everybody's on video these days, here's the thing. Never, ever, ever, when you're referring to a website, ever say the www dot in front of whatever website. Just say the name of the website. And yeah, you have to say the .com because there's a lot of .biz, .store, I think, .shop. I don't know. There's a bunch of dots now. But saying the www dot makes you look so old. Don't. They're a well-known radio guy, and yes, he's old. He was on a really big platform recently, and he used the www dot, and I took my hand and put it right into my face. I planted it in my face going, why? Why are there still people like that? You were forgiven up until, really, I mean, you were past being forgiven for last year. This year, it's done. You cannot say that anymore.
Live and loco.
Your pass has expired. The WWDC event, the iPhone maker's consumer headset, will reportedly work with hundreds of thousands of iPad apps and cost at least $3,000. We'll find out Monday. It's Monday, right? That's what I thought I heard. Meta's Reality Labs unit recorded an operating loss of $4 billion in the company's first quarter, while generating $339 million in revenue. And sales of the VR headsets declined by 2% last year from a year earlier, indicating that the immersive technology is still far away from being a mainstream consumer electronics hit. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Oh no, everybody's wearing VR headsets. I'm appalled. I'm mortified. I'm disgusted. Look who's here. Hi, Mac. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. Hell yeah, I'm doing it. I got my horse there.
And it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
I don't know if I'm actually talking to Mike, because with my VR headset on, it looks like I'm talking to Papa Smurf.
I can't do a Papa Smurf impression, but thank you. Thank you. I wish you would just take that off.
With this on, I actually look like I can play the fiddle, but I don't want to because I hate fiddles. That's why I'm disgruntled. The Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
I'm going to take this thing off.
Good. Look who else is here. Oh, and have fun riding your virtual horse, Nilly. Look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer house right now.
Oh, that's so good. What's in it?
Peppermint.
I knew it. You love to put peppermint in your root beer. I don't know why. It's delicious.
It's virtual root beer. Oh, boy, drink right now. Cut you.
Splash Mountain closed. Yes, to make way for the Frog Princess thingy ride. I don't know. Disney just continues with their flamethrower and burning up the countryside with their whole, we're Disney. Everything we do is direct to video now. Oh wait, there isn't direct to video anymore? It's just direct to Disney Plus? It's all... I know, I'm old fogey. I'm doing but you know what? I need my fogey flamethrower. And get Disney to actually do something original for a change and not be so dang worried about their bottom line. Oh, we won't do anything original. We'll just rehash whatever we have. It all goes back to rehashing and taking the hash you had and rehashing. Yes. But I don't know. It could be a great ride. I'm never going to a Disney park again. They're so expensive. It's such a trial. You have to have your dang phone with you to get anything, to eat anything, to go on any ride. You have to pay on top of paying for things. There's no point. So, once upon a time, zoinks, I was on the radio in Santa Barbara at a radio station called Y97. I'm going to play you something from over 30 years ago. Yes, I happened to dig this up on a cassette recently. I was pleasantly surprised. I laughed at the sound of my voice over 30 years ago. And listening to this music, this is from 1990. So in 1990 was sort of the last gasp of hair bands. Hey, we were in a hair band. We're gonna sing to you right now before grunge kicks us out of the world. Yes, because it was grunge that came along and pretty much killed hair metal bands. So you'll hear some hair metal in this. You'll hear a little bit of the other bands and artists that were popular at this moment. In 1990, This is the segment, Let's Go Back with Matthews. Let's go back with Matthews.
Most Music 197 coming up this hour. We got more sex music for you from Madonna. We got the latest from Keith Sweat and the latest from the Outfield. Right now it's In Excess, Suicide Blonde on Most Music 197.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that was going to play first. Yes, we had played I Want Your Sex by George Michael. Quite the huge big song in the 80s. You don't hear it much anymore. You hear Father Figure. The other one. Do you hear the monkey song anymore? Monkey, why don't you set your monkey free? There was the other one that was one more try. Maybe just one more try. Teacher, there are things. Oh, Faith. You hear Faith all the time. Faith, the Faith, the Faith. And of course, the stuff he did with Wham, Jitterbug, and all that. Okay, here we go. Oh, I so miss you, Michael Hutchins. Michael. In Excess. Tears for Fears, Shout. That song at that point was only about 5 years old at that point. And there we go. You still hear that song all the time by Tears for Fears. I would love to meet them someday. Oh, I hope that happens. Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith.
Most Music 197 to Mike Matthews at 409, sitting in for Alan Hill. We are doing 15 after 15 after 15 in a row, commercial free, all overnight long. This is the latest from Keith Sweat. I'll give all my love to you on Most Music 197.
Okay, nowadays, when you turn on a radio station at 4 o'clock in the morning, there is nobody there. You're just hearing some kind of automation. Ain't nobody there. But back then, about 30 or so years ago, there was some poor guy named Mike in Santa Barbara at 4 o'clock in the morning running the radio station. Yes, that was me. So if you ever get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, turn on the radio, nobody is live there. There might be someone live somewhere, but that station more than likely has nobody there. But that station is getting a feed from somewhere where there's someone live, like maybe Dallas or New York or Washington, D.C., or who knows, the Philippines. Who knows? It could be anywhere. Mars FM. Oh, we had Mars FM in California for a while. It was like alternative dance music. It was nonstop dance, trance, I don't know. It was sort of a cutting edge type radio station that vanished after a while. But yes, where were we? Huh? What? Oh, Keith Sweat.
Most Music 197 at 426, playing the hottest hits on the South Coast. This is the latest from Warren and I Saw Red on your Most Music station, 197.
You're listening to Mike Matthews, sitting in for Alan Hill on Y97. I know, I'm thrilled as hell about that.
Oh, man! That was Rick Bailey. Rick Bailey passed away. Oh, that just... Oh, Rick Bailey, what a nice guy. So he, along with me being there at 4 o'clock in the morning, he was there on the overnight. He was like the morning news guy. And he would be on this top 40 station I was on, Y97, doing the news, I guess, every 15 minutes. And then he was on a news station called KTMS. And that's the station where Joe Rogan got his start. There was once, I think around this time, 1990. Yeah, it was midsummer of 1990. My car broke down. I had a girlfriend up in Walnut Creek, and I lived down in Oxnard. So I was driving back. I figured I'll do a shift at the radio station in Santa Barbara because it's in between Walnut Creek and Oxnard. And I can do an overnight shift and then I'll drive home. The drive from Walnut Creek to Santa Barbara is probably around 6 hours if you're going to do the 101. Driving on 101 and my car broke down. I got to about, Lompoc? Just the Gaviota, just past there, and my car breaks down. And there was a guy named Damien who, not the devil, but a guy named Damien. He later went by the name Demiza, and he was a program director for Power 106 in LA later on. But he was just a young kid, and he came up and got me, rescued me, and then brought me down to the radio station where I did the overnight shift, and then I went to sleep where the desks were for the sales department, their office desks. They had, cubicles. And so I'm sleeping under a desk in one of the cubicles because I had no car, and Damien just dropped me off at the station. He said, it's up to you to figure out where you're going to go after this. So I was sleeping. I'm going to get some sleep under this desk. And I wake up to the sound of Jim Rome. Sorry, Jim. Didn't mean to confuse you with Joe Rogan. Jim Rome is sitting the Rome is burning guy. He's sitting at his desk. He had a desk next to the cubicle where I was sleeping under. And I hear him talking to his dad and telling his dad, I guess this was a phone call, letting him know about what the latest was. I do not think Jim Rome knew I was sleeping under the desk. And I did not want to scare him, being a rather introverted kid at that point. And so I just stayed there and listened to his conversation. Eventually he left, and then I got up from underneath the desk. But that is my Jim Rome story. He went on to bigger and better things. Congratulations to him. And he also was on Y97 doing the sports reports along with Rick Bailey back in that time frame. And he was also on KTMS doing the news. In fact, I remember one time Jim Rome coming into, he was there one day. It was on the weekend, and he hated the music we played. He hated the top 40 stuff. And all of a sudden, we start playing "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses. They had just come up with this song. They came out with it. It was becoming a huge top 40 hit, getting played on pop stations. So I run down the hall. I go, Jim, listen to what I'm playing. And he was on KTMS in the news station, and he presses the button because you could listen to other radio stations in that room, and that were, he could punch me in from down the hall. He could listen to the station, what I was playing, and he hears "Sweet Child of Mine," and he's like, yeah! And he cranks up the volume. And so that's my memory of the first time I played Guns N' Roses' "Sweet Child of Mine" and Jim Rome before he became a big sports radio guy. So here I am over 30 years ago. And one more little piece of Y97. There, we just heard the hair band Warrant. What other hair band will we hear?
I like singing along to that song. Just leave me alone. Most Music Y97, Mike Matthews at 438, sitting in for Alan Hill. Doing 15 after 15 after 15 in a row, commercial free, all overnight long, with the latest from the outfield. This is called For You.
What happened to the outfield? Oh, the lead singer died recently. Outfield is better known, of course, for Josie's on a vacation far away. And I was filling in for Alan Hill. Years later, he ended up at a country station that I worked for. And he was there on the weekend, but I guess he did pretty well working for the post office, making some steady cash there, and he got out of radio. But yeah, I was filling in for him. One time I showed up to do a shift, an overnight shift, and I had just left my college apartment. I had to move out. It was the end of the year, and out into the school year, and I clean out all my stuff, clean it top to bottom, and something with all the dust and all the chemicals and the cleaning stuff, because this is in the 80s, who knows what was in the cleaning stuff, it caused me to have a severe reaction where I had bumps all over my face and my body, and I was scratching myself. It was so itchy. And I go, well, I got to do the overnight shift. So I went to work, and suddenly Alan shows up. He goes, wait, I'm doing this shift. And I go, thank you. I was never so happy to see Alan before. And so he did the shift. I went home, tried to get to sleep I was just about to cut all my hair off. This is back when I had hair. Now I do it all the time. But yes, he saved the day. So that was Alan Hill. Let's listen to one more here.
Most Music 197 at 446, taking a look at South Coast weather for today. Partly cloudy with a high of 60. Currently in Solvang and San Ynez, it's 40 with Don Henley and the End of the Innocents on 197.
Bruce Hornsby in the Range plays the piano on that. He came up with the piano track, gave it to Don Henley. Don Henley wrote the lyrics. And that's the truth. You can look it up. Okay. And I mentioned Alan Hill on a country station that I was also on called K-Hay. And just one little bit of that.
Right now to the cafe today. And a visit to the 9 o'clock preview room.
It's the K-Hay Santa Fe Cafe with Matt Michael.
Yeah.
You a big Gary Allan fan?
Yep.
You've seen him in concert?
Once.
You like his voice?
It's all right.
Isn't that a riveting conversation? Yes, between Mike and a listener. I went by Matt Michaels at this point in the country music
Want to
world.
be Gary Allan?
Nope.
Do you want to meet Gary Allan and say, Gary, your voice is, it's just all right. Do you want to do that? We can do that. We'll make a field trip.
Not
650 KHAY. And you can listen to an interview I did with Gary Allan at my website, MikesDailyPodcast.com. Go up to where it says home in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll see interviews G through L. Go to that, and you can hear that interview.
100.7 KHAY with Faith Hill. And it's Matt Michaels. I'm at the K-Hay Santa Fe Cafe. Oh, hey. Oh, Lena. Hey.
Matthew, darling, you were singing a crazy song, but marvelous. I have out here on the dance floor Jenna and Jeremy. They are dancing like crazy one nights.
Mm-hmm.
They are dancing marvelous. I want to tell the both of you, you're dancing much better than Matt has ever danced.
You know.
Nothing like he can't dance very well and so forth.
The cafe question, what's your idea for a reality TV show?
I think we have a dancing show where we see Matt fall down. That would be very funny.
Okay.
Be marvelous.
I didn't actually fall that time.
That was me. Ouch. That hurt.
Jenna, do you like to dance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love to dance.
What kind of lips do you like?
Wait, what? And I hope I don't get dinged by YouTube, because that would be because I'm playing the marvelous song by Billy Crystal in the background, written by what's his name? Paul Schaefer from David Letterman. Yes, that was good. So my apologies if I am playing too much of that song, but that was his name. So Billy Crystal on Saturday Night Live did a character name for. He did the impression of the actor that did live and was quite popular in the golden age of Hollywood. His name was Fernando Lamas. So Billy Crystal had this funny caricature of him on Saturday Night Live that he would do. Then I came up with Fernando Tony Lamas because Tony Lamas is a type of boot that's very popular in the country music cowboy world. So, and he's on the dance floor because you're at the Santa Fe Cafe, this place that I was doing the radio show from, which I did for 11 years, the K-Hay Santa Fe Cafe on K-Hay in Ventura County. We needed a dance instructor because people love to dance to this type of country music and doing the boot scoot and boogie and all that. And the what do you call it? The slap and the 10 step. the 12-step, and I remember all these dances so well, don't I? Boot Scoot and Boogie, and the other one, the electric slide. Yes, that one got big in country as well. I think that's what all the line dancing.
Kind of like medium-sized lips.
Oh, let me ask this other caller. What kind of lips do you like?
I like shapely, luscious lips, but not when they're too big.
Oh, wow. Martina McBride!
She was the prom queen. He was the quarterback of the football team, and it all looked so...
Okay, that's a legitimate question, I guess. These are things a late-night disc jockey asks on the radio. Back in, when was this? The early O's somewhere. So, there you go. That's what people prefer in that category. Or not. There's all types of different interests that people have, don't they? I think that's how we'll sum it up today on today's Mike's Daily Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We won't play any more.
We'll be here on the radio.
Uh-oh. Whoops. Something else is playing. One more thing is playing, apparently, on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Still ahead of that. We'll hear right after this. Are you going to the show?
Tomorrow night?
Whoa! Woohoo! Wow!
Thank you.
I will be here on the radio watching things, making sure that everything happens okay.
I didn't get to go to many concerts because I was on at night. So.
You go and watch
I
Natalie.
will be there 4 rows back.
Emily and Marty. Call us from there, okay?
Oh, it's the Dixie Chicks, what we were talking about. Now just the Chicks.
Will. Let us know what's going on. The Country Quiz! At 10:30 and 11:30 Monday through Friday, it's the K-Hey Country Quiz. If you'd like to play the K-Hey Country Quiz, call now at 650-K-Hey. We'll pick a contestant to play the K-Hey Country Quiz. A delicious original ice cream creation from Cold Stone Creamery. Woo! Could be yours. 650-K-Hey.
Watch your mailbox. Why?
Our contestant is Mark from Port Hueneme. Mark, let's look at the quiz wall and pick a topic from our 3 panels. Panel 1 says the Oak Ridge Boys noise. Panel 2 says Dwight Yoakam's slow ham, because you got to cook ham slow. Yeah. Panel 3, Diamond Rio's Rio Life. Which one, Mark?
Diamond Rio's Real Life.
Alrighty. Mark, Diamond Rio's recent greatest hits album had A, 10 songs, B, 12 songs, C, 14 songs.
All right, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to guess country music, they're pretty chintzy with how many songs they put on a CD. So I'm going to go with 10.
10 songs.
10 songs. What? Stay on the line, Mark. 650-K-Hey can try and steal the prize from Mark. But if you get it wrong, he gets the prize.
Okay, they're either chintzy or they give you too many. So 14. I'm going to say 14.
Shauna called from Somas and said the answer was B, 12 songs. Oh, no, the actual answer was 14 songs. That means you get the prize by default. Mark, congratulations.
I'm tired of working just to...
I win Cold Stone. You know, you don't hear that kind of radio anymore, which may be a good thing. Hey, what do you think of that kind of radio? You can call me. Don't call me at that 656-KHAY, though. I don't even know if that number still works, or 650-K-Hey, whatever number we were using at that time. You can call me, though, here in the East Bay, 510-228-4640. And some interesting history about the East Bay we had in the last podcast called Dedication. And I used to say, call in with your requests and dedications. I came up with that myself. I also came up with the name for the K-Hey Saturday Night Request Fest, which was very popular, and that lasted for over 10 years. But no, you can call me and let me know what's on your mind and maybe what you think of any topics we covered today. 510-228-4640 and more ways to reach me. Well, A-Frame has them.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!